of the 2026 Commonwealth Games bid, a number of things have come to light today during those hearings. First and foremost, the fact that the now Premier Jacinta Allan and at the time the Minister for Commonwealth Games Delivery was consistently briefed as far back as February and on at least a fortnightly basis from numerous departments in regards to the ongoing cost pressures and blowouts around the delivery of the 2026 Commonwealth Games. I think today, and we've seen the committee now formally request that the Premier front the Select Committee's inquiry, it is only right for the Premier to come forward, front the inquiry, and tell the Victorian people exactly what her role was in this absolute debacle of a cancellation, what she knew and when she knew it. We know today from evidence from those that have so far appeared in front of the inquiry that the Premier was briefed in February and there was a request for $700 million. We know in March there was another briefing that outlined a possible $2 billion cost blowout. We know there was a letter from the organising committee in April requesting extra funds, and we know in June there was a formal budget submission requesting more funds to be able to deliver the Commonwealth Games. It is absolutely outrageous that the Premier has continued to say that she was not aware of any cost blowouts around the Commonwealth Games until the weeks leading up to the July 18 cancellation. It's time for Jacinta Allan to front the inquiry, to tell Victorian people exactly what her involvement was in this, and to come clean and stop misleading the public. By what we have seen today in these inquiries, it is completely clear that everything Jacinta Allan has said up until this date is a complete fabrication of the truth. We also know, based on the testimony now of the former CEO of the Office of the Commonwealth Games, that the cost blowouts and the additional cost pressures of $2 billion that were included in the government's costings in terms of the over $6 billion figure, costs of $2 billion that were attributed to the Office of the Commonwealth Games, and we've literally just heard momentarily ago, we've heard that those $2 billion costs did not come out of the Office of the Commonwealth Games, and we have serious questions around where those costings have come from.
Can we just pause you for a sec? Johnny, do you want to try? Sorry, we just need to get that shot. Sorry, Sam.
No, that's all right.
Won't be a moment. Okay, we're rolling, thank you.
So today, after formally being requested to front the Select Committee, yes, we know Jacinta Allan isn't compelled to front the committee, but it is the right thing to do. It is the right thing to do for the now Premier and the Minister in charge of Commonwealth Games delivery at the time to front up and tell the Victorian people exactly what she knew, when she knew it. Sorry, I'm going to go again on that. But it's only right now for the Premier and then the Minister of Commonwealth Games Delivery to front up, we know she doesn't have to formally do so, but to front up in front of the Select Committee's inquiry, as she's been formally requested to do today, and tell the Victorian people exactly what she knew, when she knew it, and what role she played in the cancellation of the Commonwealth Games and the debacle that has followed. Happy to take any questions.
Is it a given that the Premier probably won't appear before this inquiry because of the executive privilege of the lower house?
We know the Premier doesn't have to front up, but it is the right thing to do. Her tenure has been, we're less than 2 weeks into the reign of Jacinta Allan as Premier, and every single day there is a new piece of evidence coming to light. This is not a one-off, one department, one person giving a piece of evidence that contradicts what Jacinta Allan has said, both publicly and in the Parliament and at PAEC. You've got to think, at PAEC on June 13, Jacinta Allan said, we can do this, we know we can do this. How could she possibly front up to PAEC on June 13 after having had briefings in February, requests in March, letters in April, and a formal budget submission in June? How could she possibly front up to PAEC saying that we can do this? How can she front up to say that they could do it within the budget and within the scope when she well and truly knew it was impossible for her not to know? It was impossible for her not to know that these costs were escalating.
And we've just seen Jeremy Mueller arrive, the DPC secretary. We're hearing from Jerome Weimar this afternoon. What would you like to hear from them specifically, given they appear to have had closer line of sight to the cost blowout back in March?
Well, I think it's obvious, isn't it? We need clarity. We need clarity around what they knew. I mean, we've had multiple departmental staff already tell us that the costs were going to blow out by more than $2 billion. I mean, you can't go to a budget in May and say that the games are going to be delivered for $2.6 billion when at least 2 months earlier they were being told they needed an extra $2 billion on top of that. We're looking at $4.5 billion versus 2.6. The Department of Premier Caribbean needs to go in, tell us exactly what they knew, when they knew about the cost blowouts, but also the timelines around when they hired and sought legal advice in terms of getting out of the cancellation and the contract.
That's all I've got. Thanks, Robbie.
Yeah.
Sorry to pause you.